All right, weekend NWSL action. We've got games going Friday through Saturday this upcoming weekend. We've got Houston Dash versus Orlando Pride. Friday kicking off at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Portland Thorns versus Angel City Friday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And then Saturday is a quadruple header. Chicago versus OL Reign at 3 p.m. Eastern. Gotham FC versus Washington Spirit at 7 p.m. Eastern. Racing Louisville versus North Carolina Courage at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Kansas City Current versus San Diego Wave at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go through all these for you so you know which ones you want to keep a close eye on. Let's start with Friday's games. We've got Houston Dash versus Orlando Pride. Elisa, who are you picking in this one and why?
I love this matchup between Houston and Orlando. Both teams are scoring goals this year and getting them in crazy ways. For Orlando, they're coming off of a 2-2 draw with Washington where they got both of their goals in the stoppage time. So 95th minute and the 97th minute. There's something about fight till the end for Orlando that they have. And when you look at a side like Houston Dash, frankly, they have a player like Rachel Daly that just has so much fight in her individually that she can carry an entire team. Between these two sides, though, they need wins. I mean, when you look at them in the standings, Orlando, they need to get on the winning side of they're 2-2-2, and they just got to get some wins under their belt. And this is an opportunity against Houston to do that. Can Orlando score early? Can they hold a lead in this match? Can they continue to battle? I mean, these two sides, I like this matchup, frankly. I like this matchup a lot. I could see it ending in a draw, but I don't want to say that. I'm not going to start off Friday in the evening with a draw. I'm not going to say that. I think I give this win to Houston in this matchup. Houston's a team that also needs to get a win under them. They're coming off a 1-1 draw over North Carolina last weekend. But this is a good matchup, and Houston playing at home, they have the upper hand over Orlando. I give the win to Houston in this one. Who do you have between Rachel Daly and the Sydney Leroux of it all?
You know what? That's I think that's a matchup that folks are going to be keeping an eye on, right? We're doing this live with everybody on a Thursday, so something like availability reports aren't released quite yet. So we're sort of going in blind in terms of players that might actually be available in this one. But in the event that it's a pretty clean slate for all teams involved, I think folks are going to be keeping an eye on that when you're looking at a Daly for Houston, or if you're looking for a Leroux in Orlando. I'm with you as well. I think that for Houston, they want to get in there and put a good result together and maybe get a win at home for their fans. They've been putting up some decent attendances that we've been seeing in the couple games that they've had, but they've yet to be able to come out and deliver a victory at home. But that's even with saying that, they've been incredibly competitive in the couple fixtures that they've had out in Houston. And at PNC Stadium, they always kind of, they try to put together these good results, but they've got that opening loss against San Diego and the draw against North Carolina. So within that, still a lot of competitive football that we've been seeing from Houston. So I'm also kind of leaning more towards them. This is a game that I thought maybe I'd go back and forth with. I think there are some players on each side that have a little bit more familiarity with the respective opposition, but mostly there are a handful of players who are new to this sort of closer rivalry between Orlando and Houston. So with players on the Houston side of things, like having Vigiano now as a midfield option who used to be with the Pride, somebody like Maria Sanchez, who has been an incredible asset for this team in their pickup in the offseason. It's making me lean a little bit more towards Houston Dash in this one. I'm a little bit concerned that maybe it's going to be a draw, but I don't want to use my draw this early.
That's how I felt too.
I don't want to use my draw this early in the picks on the show. So I think it might be narrow. I think it might be a narrow scoreline.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pick a winner, and I'm also going to go Dash in this one as well.
Oh, I like that. So narrow, like 1-0.
Yeah, I think it's gonna come down to like who's gonna get that that quick break. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's in these very specific moments of the game. That's something else that we've been seeing from these two sides, like seeing Daly get that equalizer in stoppage time of the first half, or Darian Jenkins, snatching that win away from the Spirit late in stoppage time. It's going to happen in these very curious moments of a match. I wouldn't be surprised if the game winner or the breakthrough kind of comes through in an area like that. So I'm going Houston as well.
I love that. So we have some people in the chat talking about how it's really hard for players in Orlando or Floridians to go to Houston and play in the rain or anything like that. There is a little bit of precipitation tomorrow in Houston, Texas, 40% in the evening. So there is a chance of showers for this match, but 90 degrees, like 60% humidity, isolated thunderstorms Friday in Houston. So that could change things. I think it gives the advantage to Houston.
We're gonna keep an eye on it for sure. I mean, if there's a ton of rain like that, then it might lead to some surprises in front of goal for sure. But I think I'm comfortable
staying with
a rain
game.
I'm comfortable
pushing for a rain game now.
Oh no! If it's gonna be rain, just rain. No lightning or stoppages or anything like that.
Just rain.
We'll see. Next one for Friday, it's gonna be Portland Thorns versus Angel City. Couple teams with some familiarity around each other, having faced one another during the Challenge Cup group stage. Angel City handing Portland that loss in the end of group stage, sort of eliminating them from contention and defending their Challenge Cup title. When we're looking at these two, so we've got Portland Thorns coming off of that 2-2 draw against Chicago, and now facing and hosting Angel City. Who you got in this one and why?
I like that you referenced the Challenge Cup because these two teams were in the same group in the West region, and Portland took the first win over Angel City 3-0, and then Angel City stole a Challenge Cup playoff spot from Portland with a 1-0 win for Angel City. And that's where we saw Kristen Press getting a penalty kick goal for Angel City. But between these two sides, frankly, Portland's been showing a lot. I mean, in the match against Chicago that Portland just tied 2-2, there was a little bit of consistency. I think Chicago outplayed Portland for a bit in that match, but it was really back and forth. However, Chicago went up both times, and then Portland came back from this one. And if Portland's having struggles scoring that first early goal, I don't know if Angel City is going to score that first early goal. So between these two sides, honestly, this is a pretty big matchup because Angel City is also coming off of a 0-1 loss to Gotham that they just suffered. This is probably my match of the weekend between Portland and Angel City. It's a late night on Friday at 10:30 between these two sides. I could see it as a draw. I'm not going to say draw though. I like to save these. I don't know why. I'm even dangling it out there. I think Portland's going to win this one. I think Portland wants to get back on the winning side of things. They're coming off of that 2-2 draw, and then before that they had another draw against Washington before they lost to Houston. So they haven't won in a handful of matches for Portland, and that's troublesome to me. This is a match that they know Angel City. They know how Freya Kuhn likes to set up. They know how dangerous Kristen Press can be. So I give Portland the win in this one.
Listen, I'm with you for all the reasons that you mentioned already. This is a match that I was maybe going back and forth a little bit on, but I'm not just going with Portland for all the reasons that you mentioned. I need to see a win from Portland. Yeah. I need to see it. We have not seen a win from this Portland side since April 30th, their home opener, the regular season opener, that 3-0 win against Kansas City. And it's just been a ton of draws, and they had that 2-0 loss against Houston as well, which was something a little bit of a quick turnaround for them. And they had a little trouble with at home. And then now coming off of this 2-2 draw against Chicago. And I believe I mentioned this in the recap of that 2-2 draw, that there was something about getting to watch this Portland Thorns side live. And to get a bigger picture and see the actual full spectrum of this team and the things that they've have working for them, or the things that they're still currently developing. I'm very impressed with Sam Coffey in the middle for them. I think that she's been, rising to the challenge in her first year. Not really seeing a struggle for me from me in terms of that making that leap to the pro level. I really do like what she's providing for them in the middle there. And I really like Sophia Smith and what we've been seeing from her in 2022. And I want to continue to see, her activity in the final third. I would like to see her, get a breakthrough on goal in this one in front of the home side. I'm not saying that this is going to be a match that's going to be this wild shootout, kind of big lopsided scoreline. I don't think so. I think what we've been seeing with teams that have a lot of familiarity with each other stemming from the Challenge Cup, we've seen things play a little bit more tightly and a little bit more narrow in the score lines anyway. So I don't imagine that this one's going to be a real big lopsided score or a heavy score line, despite having some shooters on each side, whether it's a Smith or a Press or, whomever, a Charlie, a Sinclair, whoever's available going to be presenting in those attacks. But I'm just looking at Portland and hearing Coach Wilkinson talk a little bit in the post game as well, that there are just things that this team already knows that they just need to continue to implement moving forward. They know, she said, that we know that this is a transitional league and we can't do things like allow other players to get that, getting quick on us like they saw against like Malpew. So I'm eager to sort of see what they're going to take out of that draw and then kind of be able to present in this new one. And I'm going to be going with Portland Thorns in this match. I'm not going to put a scoreline on it, but it's going to be the match that's after dark. So 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you're on the East Coast, it's going to be a late one. So those tend to provide a lot of fireworks, and we'll see what happens.